Hello, my name is Sister June Fitzgerald, and I'm a Dominican Sister of Peace, currently residing and ministering in New Haven, Connecticut. As a member area coordinator, I have been learning about intercultural humility and anti-racism, and I would like to share what I've learned over the last 2 years. A few years ago, our congregation created, printed, and began posting yard signs that said, "Racism is a sin." We put one of those signs in the front yard of our convent, and we were proud of this sign and felt it would send a positive message to our neighbors, many of whom are people of color. We soon realized that some of our neighbors interpreted the message in a very different way. Some saw it as a positive statement. Others felt it was judging or accusing them of being racist. One person in particular, a young white man, himself an immigrant from the European Union, confronted me and asked me why we had it in our yard. He went on to say that it seemed like it was judging people, and we were sisters. We aren't supposed to judge others. I was surprised at his strong negative reaction, and to be honest, it annoyed me because we were just trying to preach a message of tolerance and respect. Didn't he see that? My response to him was more out of annoyance than curiosity when I asked, "What do you mean that you feel judged?" He responded, "Well, sometimes what people say is racist is just a logical reaction to bad behavior of those people, like playing their music really loud when they're working on their cars or yelling out their windows at their children. Don't they realize how rude that is?" Before I could answer, he had to take a phone call, and I walked away fuming at how racist he was being. When I went inside, Sister Julie was there, and I shared what had just transpired in our yard. Rather than share my annoyance and commiserate with me, she told me that she too was offended by the sign and felt it was judgmental. However, since all of the other sisters wanted to put it up, she didn't object. This time I was truly curious when I said, "I see it as calling others to conversion. Please help me understand your perspective that it seems judgmental." Sister and I had a long and difficult conversation about it, and I began to see how the message of the sign could be interpreted in different ways. I realized that I assumed that all of the sisters and our neighbors would see it as I do. I was operating out of the assumption that we were all basically the same and would interpret things the same way, my way. I had a cultural mindset that was one of minimization and de-emphasizing differences. The next day, I made the conscious choice to ask my community what they really thought of the sign. I prayed to be open to what I would hear, and I discovered that each of us had a different interpretation of the message, influenced by a variety of factors. Some of the variables that influenced our mindsets were our generation, our cultural identity, catechesis on sin, and life experiences. We ultimately chose to leave the sign in the yard, and when I see people looking at it, I try to engage them in conversation about the message. It is hard to remain open to what I may hear, but I know that I need to be courageous and open and be challenged to expand my cultural sensitivity and awareness in order to grow in intercultural humility. Let us continue to walk humbly together for the ongoing transformation of the world.